Hello everyone, I'm Boss. I'm here to address the accusation of racial slur use by this content creator. Let us first watch the video.
Post about someone in the IDV community killer boss. If you don't know who he is, he's a semi-popular figure in the IDV community who is known for hosting community tournaments and participates in them as well. Recently, my friend showed me some screenshots that showed him saying the N-word and being racist towards black people. This is really weird because he is literally Chinese, and if you're wondering, he has not apologized since and does not gab. Like, yes, someone was being racist towards him by calling him slurs, but racism back.
Okay. First of all, I would like to apologize that under no circumstances I should use any of the racial slurs whatsoever, regardless of other people's actions. I am sincerely sorry, and things like this kind will not happen ever again. Let us get on with part 2. So what exactly happened? Issei, who we will further to refer as he, first went into a Discord channel filled with people who is at that time doing rank, and decided to use continuous soundboards in order to interrupt their normal communication. After getting caught and reported to the administrators of the server, he immediately resorted to racism and racial slurs, and this was far from when I have joined. Unfortunately, both of the administrators at the time was either asleep or outside and unable to act on the spot. He was saying racial slurs in a Chinese server against the Chinese, with 11k people in the server active. Well, he was also making comments such as small eyes, COVID stuff that is obviously derogatory towards the Chinese population. This was still far from when I have joined, and he then started making comments about how Japanese are better than the Chinese, and eventually made it to comments where repetitively made comments about Hong Kong and Taiwan is not part of China, which was extremely hurtful for anybody knowing the history of China. It is we've as a community, as a group of people, as a race, we have suffered much under the Japanese during the World War II, and obviously saying stuff that like Japan is better than China definitely hurts. So some were name calling, mom calling, racial slurs. As you can see, there were contacts trying to be made with the owners of the server, but they were not there at the time, about one of the auto accounts that was also in use, who is or was in the Discord voice channels harassing people. But obviously it is 3 years from now, we do not have the evidence for that anymore. And secondly, both Hong Kong and Taiwan are part of China. It was a time of civil unrest, and there was definitely a bloody scar on the history of our country. Hong Kong was handed over to the Republic of China at midnight of July 1st, 1997. And as Taiwan is not yet made it back to China, they are and or was part of the Republic of China. And to say that Taiwan is not part of China in a community where tons and thousands of people are Chinese is by itself is already a stab at the wound of the history we had. Then he started making comments about moms, and then eventually, obviously, it went back to racial slurs against the Chinese. After some time has passed, there's another alternate account along with that account. Both started spamming words like racism, both spamming the Chinese race slur word, and also Taiwan and Hong Kong is not China. Words that are definitely politically sided and racist towards the Chinese population. And mind you, this was a server with 11k members, who most of which are active. The information at first, and I was confused. I was asking what happened to friends who was also already in the conversation. They told me what happened. At start, I did not resort to any sort of racism or behavior. I was trying to joke around with the person. I first told him to shut up, but as you may have noticed, it was deleted because of the bot. Funnier enough, the bot was only set to delete certain English message, but was somehow not set to delete even dirtier words, such as racial slurs, but was able to detect things like shut up or like get out. After which, he made comments on my mother, which I tried to joke around with him a bit, with the intention of obviously mocking him. But eventually I see that this doesn't really help in the situation anyways, and only adds fuel to the fire because it is not direct enough. And for whatever you were about to see, I am deeply sorry. It was a heated moment by a 15-16-year-old after witnessing what he had said, which had a great impact on the history of our people. But I understand now, as I am 18 and an adult, that no matter what they have done, it is not my right to be racist towards the person at all. And I am deeply sorry for that. I understand my actions have consequences, and this will not happen again. I understand the implications behind the actions. I, however, did not at that time. Let us continue. Although it was rude and inappropriate, and perhaps not well to the naked eye, he did quiet down a bit after my unpolite discussion with him. Eventually, he started talking less, and I went back to my own game. I was, because I thought the conversation was over. He backed down. And then I took a shower. When I came back, he was at it again, but with, I think, 2 other accounts, if I could remember correctly. The accounts were deleted shortly afterwards, because these are, including the account that Eva was on, it was all accounts that are made on that day and was destroyed on that day. So it's alternate accounts. So since spiraled down, as you can see, many were as frustrated as I was at the time. Some people were still saying racial slurs and Chinese immigrants to go back to China, stuff as that. This kind of conversation gone on around for at least 2 hours. I'm afraid I lost count of the actual hours. But eventually they left, and soon afterwards the admins got here and banned both of their accounts from all 3 of their accounts from the server, and locked down the ability to invite anybody to the server for 3 weeks after the incident. Now let's get on to the third part of the accusation. This is the content creator who accused me of saying racial slurs, which again, I am deeply sorry for. I should have really considered my actions before I have done it. As who I am now, I will not do the same mistake again. This is my DM with him. I started stating what was the issue, and I confronted him about that. Whatever version of story they were told, it was definitely not the full story. Since in his video, and we could go back and see, he never talked about any of other things, like who the opposition is, except being that the person was only racist to me. But they were not only racist to me, they were also racist towards the entire Chinese server, which is like 11k people. Most of them are Chinese, and their speech includes also political sensitive topics, and also degradation of the Chinese race by comparing Chinese race with the Japanese race, which are all also salts on wounds to the Chinese history as a whole. I also explained I was 15, 16 at the time, and emotions dashed to my head as soon as I saw such degradation of words used to my history and my community as a whole. Again, I understand that fighting racism is not the answer, but to me, at that time, I could not think of a better option. Well, was hardly able to think. So I humbly ask for a video. But here, when I say I humbly ask for a video clearing my name and addressing the concerns, is only that I am asking for a video with the full story. I noticed that their video did not have the full story and did not have the aftermath, but was only focused on how I was speaking racism words, which again I will not deny, and that was a very bad showcase of me. But I'm humbly asking them to remove or rework the video so that it paints the full picture. I also included proof that it was definitely not me who started the racism, and I did not even join it. I did not even join the conversation until at least some time has passed, and I was definitely trying to cooperate at first before resorting to racism, or trying to find other ways, trying to tell them to shut up or use insults to get them to stop talking before I resort to racism. Then he accused me of saying weird statement regarding biracial couples. I hereby have to confirm that I did not have said, nor could I find any evidence of me saying any statement regarding biracial couples. I did not speak on the concept of the matter at all, and I did not say if the concept was good, bad, right, or wrong. I did not touch the concept at all. I do have to say, however, that things of this nature, and I try to write to him about it, that things like of this nature to the Chinese population in an AEU server is not uncommon. A quick scroll through Snowly would find you around 2 to 3 screenshots of people telling us to go back to our servers. But it's been such a common occurrence that I think most people doesn't even post it these days. You can still find, I think, at least 1 or 2 screenshots in a scroll of another server we have, where it's specifically for stuff such as people against each other, like conflicts. You can see them posting there like almost every single day with at least 1 or 2 screenshots of racism. Even each rank session, usually there will be 1 or 2 there. I then addressed that the content creator did not acknowledge that the person not only was racist towards the Chinese, but also said degradation words to the entirety of Chinese race, and also was not respectful of the Chinese history, and adding salt to the wound. He was also saying political sensitive stuff that was definitely used as intentionally used as a way to hurt us. I also talked to him about Inspire, who is now called Infamous. And to add on to that, as you can see, I tried to clear up myself because I think my first paragraph was not clear enough. I do believe, and here again, I am sorry for the words I've said. What he said was correct, and I would things like this will never happen again. I'm just trying to show the whole story. He said he acknowledged that they were racist too, and I mentioned in the video it's clear that he or she does not condone it. However, the video itself was only briefly touched on what the person has to do, and did not even paint half of what he actually has done. Also, the video itself did not say he did not condone with the racism of that person towards me. The only thing he said was he understands someone was being racist to me, but racism back is not the answer, which is correct. But he did not say that he did not condemn the other person for the wrongdoing in front of 11,000 people. And then he said I immediately jumped to saying the N-word, which had me concerned extremely for how much of the story he actually looked at, because it was definitely, as you can see from the previous story, it was not the case. But it is my problem resorting to racism. So and then he said he doesn't have to post anything regarding the Asian community, which is true. And then I immediately corrected him that I definitely did not immediately resort to racism. I was trying to play nice. I was trying to make other things work. But anger got to me that I was only able to think 2 answers, and both of them didn't work. So the only thing I resort to was just being louder. So it was definitely not the right thing to do. Then he said I'm trying to avoid apologizing in my social, and he said the point still stands. I should not have gone to racism, which is true, and I apologize again for it. And for the fact that he said I was trying to apologize in social, it is 4:23 a.m. right now. I am also over in this part of the conversation 6 hours around after the incident occurred. The conversation between him and I occurred. But because of what he said about I immediately resorting to racism, I had severe questions of whether or not had the person known the entire story and he only know part of the story. He himself then confirmed that he only knows part of the story and the full story was not understood, and that he was sorry. But it doesn't. If you're a content creator in IDV, you should, or in any field for that matters, you should at least know the entire story, the entire truth, and try to present that to your viewers instead of fooling them with a half-made story. Isn't that what the basic of any content creator would do? And you then instead try to resort the conversation back to where this full story is that does not justify me for being racist, which is true. But you should at least not fool your viewers with a half-made story when you don't even know the whole of the story. So then he went on and said the 2 users that replied to with such slurs does not represent the full story, which obviously it does not. When going through the situations, via there's some being racist and served filled with Chinese and the racism being sent back. First of all, I was far from the first person who sent or resorted to racism going backwards. But obviously it still does not justify it, but you cannot be expecting the entire server to be insane when someone is literally degrading your culture, your history. When someone is using slur words and copy and pasting them, you cannot be expecting the entire server to be saints about it. And by dragging this into a conversation where you're saying both sides has issues and has faults, I think in this way you are not condoning on the other side. You're kind of helping the side who did the wrong stuff first and trying to make their actions look less acceptable, more acceptable than they actually are. No human really, or at least Chinese, will stand the kind of degradation they have done and still be polite to them about it. Our history, like many others around the world, has scars that they should not be brought up. Telling a Chinese person that the Japanese race is just strictly better than the Chinese is no different than dressing up as Adolf Hitler in Germany. It is these kinds of scars in the history of our countries that is definitely not justifiable. It goes beyond simple name calling and definitely goes beyond just a few racial slurs. It's not acceptable at all, and it should not be treated lightly. So when you said that it does not change the story, but to us Chinese, maybe you do not feel like so. To us Chinese, it really does change the story. When you're bringing politics such as Taiwan and Hong Kong into this when you're bringing racism, well, not just racism but fascism, saying that Japanese people is better than the Chinese after the World War II has happened. It really does bring a different story onto the table. But nonetheless, viewers have their own ideas. Some may consider this as the same story, others may consider this to be a different story. What is of the problem is that you made a video attempting to cancel someone without knowing half of the story. Who in the right mind did you think that was a good thing to do? You had 6 to 7 screenshots, and then you decided to make a story about whatever happened. You try to put all the fault on me, try to put all the blame on me. Imagine if all the things that went through was something of a Discord chat instead of a Discord voice chat instead of the actual chat. I wouldn't be able to even find any of the material. I wouldn't be able to try to explain to you what happened at the time. I wouldn't be able to explain to you the story at the time. Not that the story will justify the story will not and never will justify my racism back towards them. But it definitely isn't as simple as what you have said, where it's just someone was being rude to me, so I was racism them back. Here to clarify, when I said not justified, I meant the making of the video is not justified. You do not know the whole story. There is absolutely no reason for you to make the video with only half of the story. And you clearly do not intend to find the full story because it was in the same chat and you could have just searched it, really. Just going back and read the entire thing. Either had you not had the heart to do it, because literally I was doing the same. I was doing what I was told you. I searched the chat and then I scrolled through the entire chat. So either you did not have the heart and just wanted the views, or you were just hideous like that. You know the whole story, but you decided to keep part of it. Regardless, you have admitted yourself you only know part of the story. I would take that as true as the truth. I cannot tell you what the public's reaction will be, nor would I anticipate the future. But what I can tell you is that for a fact and a most definite fact, using half of the story to make a video trying to cancel someone is not correct. You have said that you still can send someone responsibility to things like this when it's directed to you when you're 16. Well, first of all, props to you. Great job. But at least for however calm I am to most things, there are always a few things I cannot bear. And perhaps this is just the exact thing that triggered me. The discrimination against our race as a general, and more importantly, the degradation of the history of our history. As a final word, you are a content creator. As I've said here, no matter what you do, your words and actions have influences. Whatever the public believe, it is their decision. But it is 100% not your place to create a story when you do not even know the full story. The ending screen does show that she or he has allowed me to use the video she made of accusing me, and also allowing for the post of the DMs. Again, I sincerely apologize for my wrongdoing. It was hideous words and it will not be used ever again. Also, this video, as promised, will be posted onto every single platform I have, which includes Bilibili, YouTube, Twitch. I think that is all. And also Discord, of course. See you.